Hey everyone, so I wanted to record a quick video around this issue on how environments and rollouts are going to work. So I've already talked with most of you this morning around what the problems we're trying to solve and the type of changes that we want to try and fix. So I wanted to write down everything in a whiteboard on what we discussed today. So let's go section by section. Hopefully, it shouldn't take too long. And this is totally unscripted, so I might mumble along a bit. So this is the legacy infrastructure we have right now, where we have canary and main on staging.gitlab.com, and as we said, storage, sidekick, and container registry are all shared. And same for GitLab.com. So this is staging, this is GitLab.com. And as we know, there are some issues with this setup where, again, storage, like storage in the sense database is shared. Let me make that more clear. And if we break something in staging, this will be in the critical part for our production deploys, right? Now, this is in the sales environment, so we'll have what we call the sandbox environment, the test environment, and production, right? So the sandbox environment, this is during development phase. So um, it could be known as review apps, right? That's a common name we at GitLab we use. So we have review apps. Now this is completely optional slash up to the maintainers of each project to set up and decide to use or not use, right? So the router will set up a a router in Cloudflare with two GitLab instances and a topology service. Topology service will just use spin up a topology service with two GitLab instances, and the instrumenter will do what we or it already does, where it provisions a whole GitLab instance, which in this case it's going to be SAT. So this will be part of the development when an engineer opens up a merge request, and then when they merge the main, we'll have this test. So it will be either test.gitlab.com or whatever the name can change. Um, but this is a test environment with no customer data, and we can break it at any time. So as soon as we merge the main, we'll deploy to this. And then after some baking time, we'll deploy to production. So um, going through some of the workflows. So for the global services, so this would be either the router or topology service in this case, as um, let's say we want to do an application change for the router. We open up a merge request. This triggers to create an ephemeral environment and creates the needed resources. Engineer 2 comes in and reviews the change and approves it. If it looks good, either engineer 1 or engineer 2 will merge the merge request, which will destroy the the ephemeral environment. And then uh, step number 4, the pipeline on main gets triggered, which does a progressive rollout for test.gitlab.net. And then after baking time of X minutes, it will do a progressive rollout to GitLab.com. The progressive rollout for GitLab.com starts. And similar for configuration change, right? So if we manage all the router configuration through Terraform, we'll open up a merge request to the repository. It runs a plan on test and production in one go. Um, engineer 2 comes and reviews the change and approves it. And then someone merges it. And then we run an apply on the test, does some baking time, and then an apply in production. So like this, we can we check if the apply is successful in the test environment or not. So now the configuration change. So let's say we want to change the snapshot policy of the Gitty disk, right? Like let's imagine right now it's 4 hours, and we want to reduce it to 1 hour. This is something that we've done in the past. So these are the steps that already exist, but I'll go through them briefly. So first, you open up merge request and configuration management for staging. Someone reviews it and approves it, you merge on staging, apply it, and then you do the same for production. So that's a 6-step process here. And this is ignoring if you have to do Terraform module upgrades and so on and so forth. That's a bit more complicated there. A bit more steps, not complicated. And then these are the new steps that we're going to have to do. So someone opens, engineer one again opens a merge request to instrumenter, which will create the ephemeral environment, and they can check whatever they need to check. Someone engineer two comes in, reviews and approves the change, and engineer one tries to merges the merge request. Then it applies, it runs through provision and configure stage for all the cells in test.gitlab.com. So in here, this is a bit hazy for me. I don't know how many rings we'll have, if we'll have any cells here, but that's something that we need to discuss. And then we'll bake for n minutes, and then we apply for ring 0, and then ring 1, and so on and so forth. So plus plus is just to mean that we're incrementing it. And the deployment is the deployment that we've been doing this quarter, like the delivery team has been doing this quarter, where an auto deploy package is chosen, it deploys to Canary, runs QA on Canary, deploys to production and ring 0, runs QA on both production and ring 0, bake for 1 hour, then the release manager does manual promotion. As soon as we do manual promotion, we deploy to staging main, run QA on staging main, and then in 30-minute delays, as soon as we trigger the manual promotion, there would be a deployment in gprod main and ring 1. And then we run the post-deployment migration and staging, run QA in staging, run post-deployment in production, and then we'll continue with ring 2 deployments now that we know that the package is successful and can run the migrations correctly. And ring 2 is where we're going to have cells with customer data, right? So yeah, this is the high overview of the stuff that I'm thinking, or at least from the feedback I got from all of you that I talked to you this morning. I also spent some time talking about this with Alessio. So this is not something that we decided on. I'm mostly looking for feedback to see if this makes sense, if this complicates things, and yeah, looking forward. Thank you.